Hey, Jeremy Cook here, and before we get the podcast started, I just wanted to mention that this was actually recorded a few months ago, so if things seem a little anachronistic, then that's the reason. Also, I wanted to give a big shout out to our Patreons, which we'll go ahead and shout out for the level that we have today, June 1st, 2020. That's Brian Moses, Old School DIY, that's at GFC62, Pat Regan, Positive Waves, and Stephen Booker. Thanks so much for your support and enjoy the podcast. Welcome to Creativity, the podcast where art and engineering collide. Today we've got a special guest named Dave Darko. How are you doing, Dave?
Oh, hi, fine. How are you guys doing?
Oh, not bad at all. What about yourself, Max?
I'm the second co-host.
Yeah,
I'm really good, thanks.
Right, our second co-host here is
for the
named
introduction.
Max Maker, and he makes all kinds of things, right?
That's right.
And,
just like Dave.
Yeah, well, Dave, what kind of stuff do you make, just to introduce yourself?
Oh, well, I do a lot of things when it comes to like 3D printing and designing my own PCBs, and I'm always trying to make them, look nice and stuff like that. Robots, handhelds.
You made some really cool stuff, like the little the Lameboy. What does it actually do?
It's an ESP8266 in there, so the deauthor script by Spacehoon works on it. I just have to make it work with the display because that's something else, but other than that, yeah. And I can also write little games that have the same resolution like the Nokia 3310 games had back then.
So Snake.
Yes. Well, there was a really cool side-scrolling Astro thing, like space thing as well on the Nokia. I really like that one.
So I was going to ask you, you guys are both from Germany, correct? I know you are, Max.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
Space Hoon, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Is Hoon, is that a chicken, or what is that in German?
It's a chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. Well, now I know. I'd been wondering that for a while, so I guess I could look that up on Google or something.
Maybe now you can explain to me what Spacehoon actually is, because I have no idea.
Yeah, I think I tried to. I had a one of his stickers on my water bottle, and somebody asked me to explain it, and I really had a hard time doing that. How do you describe what that guy does, Dave? Do you?
Yeah, so Stefan does all kinds of things around Wi-Fi, but also security-based stuff. Like he has this easy setup for to connect an Atmega 32U4, the USB-based. Well, he connects that with an ESP8266 as well, and so he has a Wi-Fi enabled keyboard. Yeah, so you can inject commands into the computer via Wi-Fi. Like you open the terminal and then you can start a script and stuff like that.
That sounds like proper hacking.
Yeah. That's
So
accurate.
it's a Wi-Fi controlled rubber ducky. Would that be the word for it? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of his projects.
All right. Well,
Oh, so Lameboy can do the same thing then.
So how can the Lameboy do the same thing? Well, it's the same chip in there, the Wi-Fi based ESP8266. Quite a mouthful. But yeah, that's how I first got in contact with Stefan.
what is your background work-wise, Dave?
Well, in my day job, I'm a web developer, so working with PHP, JavaScript, MySQL. No frameworks. We did that all on our own for the last 10 years, I guess. Has it been? Yeah, 10 years. It's like a niche area. We're doing a point of sale system with RFID tokens, and it's for wakeboarding and water skiing places.
Okay, so you make those little wristbands?
We buy the wristbands, but we
Yeah, okay. But
so
yeah, of course you buy them.
I was working all day, so yeah, I'm a bit like, it's the IT curse. Like you always want to be precise with the things you say. an operator interface. There's one person that is responsible to drag the people around the lake, I guess, and he has this monitor, and it's all internet-based cloud stuff.
So he can see how many turns people went around the circuit.
Right. And
okay, so the RFID is somewhere on the cable, or how does he know who's on the water right now?
Browser connected. It's like one of my first hacks, if you want to say, if you want to tell. Yeah, I mean it's USB HID based, the RFID reader. So we just have a JavaScript running that's waiting for a keyboard input, and then we get the number, and then everything else is in the cloud. It's just.
Yeah, but how do you physically know who's on the water right now?
Yeah, there's also a monitor that can show you what person is on the water, but normally you don't really care unless you have to scream at him or her.
But does the RFID reader read the actual person that's going around?
Oh, yeah, so okay.
Or when it enters.
So you have a wristband, and whenever you start at the cable, at the operator, you just scan in yourself, and then it shows up on the monitor, and then you're either.
Because that would have been impressive if you scan him while he's on the water, like a toll gate.
I'd probably do that with a webcam and then a big QR code on the helmet, I guess. There's always a way.
Oh no. I mean, I don't think you were joking about that, were you? I mean, it sounds like you could actually do that, right? Or is that just too high a resolution?
Well, I mean, these days you can.
Needs to be a big QR code. Or a zoomed-in webcam and plenty of them, so you actually get the rider.
And then you sell the pictures to the person who's on the water.
I've done water skiing quite a bit, but I've never ridden on one of these, I guess, overhead winch contraptions, I guess is that what you'd call them? Or
yeah, they're really, really handy because you don't need that much of equipment. You don't need a boat. You pay your like 30 euros for 3 hours, and you go around in circles, have fun, get some food, and then you can go back home again. Nice. No need to have a boat to fill it up. And
I've heard that the boats are
30 euros compared to having a boat is.
Yeah. And also the boats can break down, and then you have to buy this big motor that's specialized for this boat. And it's really not. Cable is the way, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I once was on a boat, and we had to go to the gas station, fill up like 20-liter canisters with gas, and then carry it over to the boat and fill it in. That alone was like an hour of work.
You know, they say the happiest part in a boat owner's life is when you buy it and when you sell it. And it's just, you know, there's all kinds of other sayings about that. So
nice.
Very true. I'm following this channel called Boatworks Today, and he's rebuilding a boat right now, and it seems like it's going on forever. And he basically stripped out the entire boat, and he's doing fiberglass work on like every single part, like all the hatches he's redoing, and where all the controls are, like the dashboard. He took all the controls out, and he's fiberglassing over all the holes. He's drilling new holes soon. It's like at this point, you might as well just buy a new boat.
Sometimes it's not important that you have the boat, but that you can work on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but I think it's a client job as well. That's a strange thing.
Oh,
I think he's doing this commercially.
Better charge enough.
Or he's just cleverly hiding his hobby.
So how do you sell these things? Or your system?
It's either the way that like you have to go to the cable park and say, hi, have you heard of us? Or it's they're gonna hear it when they start building the cable, because they're gonna look around and they might. Yeah, they usually go to places that just work and make a lot of money, and we have 1 or 2 spots, so it's easy for us to get people know our product.
It's amazing that you managed to build that.
Yeah, we were kind of the first in that area, and now other branches, like other sports booking apps, are coming into the sports, and they try to be there, but no, so far.
Oh, we had it in the climbing gym as well, where you could scan with your phone the QR codes at the wall, so you could scan after you did a route on the climbing wall. But it never really went anywhere. There were lots of these systems around, but none really took off.
Yeah, I mean, you scan it. I assume you don't scan it at the top. So, I guess you have to take your word for it. you did it.
I just never got there.
Yeah, there are these GPS bicycle things like Strava. You could just go around your car, I guess, and fake a workout.
Yeah, I'd heard something about how people were using these and trying to beat other people's routes and getting, throwing out their bikes and stuff, just trying to do it so fast. Which, makes sense, I guess.
Downhill's downhill.
Not a new thing. So Dave, I mean, besides working at that, with RFID chips and stuff, you did some work for Element 14, correct?
Yeah.
Are you cool with talking about that?
Sure.
Or so how did that happen? What did they recruit you, or did you try out for a spot on their show, or how'd that all work out?
It kind of started when Ben Heck was still the host of the show, and they were looking for people to make a video. I think it was a contest back then. It was kind of a hidden contest, kind of recruiting thing, but they were handing out parts for a handheld build based on a Raspberry Pi, and you were. How did it work? I think I was supposed to send in a video to tell the people, hey, I'm here, I'm interested, I want to make a video, and I did that with a wig on, and I played Hackgiver. So that probably got me some points, and they were like, hey,
Nice.
Dave, you'll get a kit, now you have to build something. And also make a video about it. So this is how I got to my Fameboy. It's basically it's like when you take the original Game Boy and the Switch and you put it, I don't know. I was trying to mesh up all these styles into one, and also use an cartridge reader inside that, so I can play original Game Boys on my Raspberry Game Boy games on my Raspberry Pi handheld.
So why did you call it Frankenboy?
So right, but
Yeah, you
at
should
this
have called
point I
it
had the
Frankenboy.
Lameboy, so I thought, okay, the Lameboy is small, and the big one is the Fameboy, because I also made it for Element 14.
Do you still work for them, or has that ended, or?
So last year I
pause?
made 6 videos, I think, for them, and it was kind of crazy when I thought about it, and then I forgot how big the projects themselves were, and that I was able to forget that I actually made them. It's like very weird, but at the end of October I was a bit burnt out, and I told them I have to take a break, and we talked about that in January, and now I have another idea, and it's a big idea, so it kind of helps to also have the support from Element 14.
Can you give us a hint as to what it is, or is that kind of off limits at this point?
I'm not really sure if this is a secret what I'm building. I always tell people when they ask. So this time I'm gonna work on. Have you guys played Jedi Fallen Order by any chance? Okay,
I have not.
It's just a new Star Wars console game, and it made me kind of want to buy an Xbox, and that's what I did. And there's this little companion robot that always walks around with you, and it hacks doors for you and sits on your shoulder like a companion bot. And I thought to myself, I want to build this.
Oh, that's really cool. So it's a mechanical build as
there's
well.
a bit of mechanical work, and then also I want to drop in a Raspberry Pi 4 and the Beamer, and it's going to be interesting.
Projector.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
we Germans always do that wrong. We always say Beamer because here the word is Beamer for projector.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not going to put a BMW in it somehow?
No. Oh, and Beamer is what the British call a BMW.
Okay. Yeah. That's like one of those words.
But no, I like.
Dave's mind is blown.
I like Beamer.
And the word highlighter and text marker.
Text. I like that word beamer though. I should start,
It beams
see if I can
light.
start using that. I mean,
Yeah, it beams the light onto the wall.
people already think I'm a little crazy, so
Yeah.
why not? Hey, speaking of that, so Dave, and I guess you can answer this too, Max, maybe is now do German people, do they eat like giant plates of mashed potatoes? Because I saw on one of your videos you seem to be quite the potato
I think
aficionado.
there was just one bag of, well, it's probably a 2-portion bag, but I wanted to make mashed potatoes for this video, and I think I ate 50% of it. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was a gimmick. I played with food.
Because yeah, I guess I had to write it. I wrote it up for Hackster.io, and I saw that, and we talked about it later a little bit, and I guess that was something from the movie
Close Encounter.
Yeah. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I haven't seen. I guess.
Yeah.
Do I need to watch that? I mean, is it
That's
still
pretty good.
a pretty good movie today?
It holds up.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm watching Joker on 70 millimeters. I'm really excited for that.
Why 70 millimeters? What
Oh, it's just amazing. Like if you go to a normal cinema, it's 36 or 35 millimeters. So the picture is 35 millimeters from left to right, the film. And if you go to 70 millimeters, it's 70 millimeters from left to right. So it's a much bigger picture. And somehow the quality is much better. I think it's to do with how much light you can shine through the film without it burning up. But that's just my theory.
That makes sense.
We just have 5 projectors of them in Germany.
Probably
so
2 in Berlin.
It's rare to find one. There's 1 in Munich, 2 in Cologne, 1 in Hamburg, and 1 in a very, very tiny cinema in the middle of the countryside in east of here in East Germany. It's really weird. There's this one guy, he built his own cinema, basically just for himself. He's got a 70 millimeter projector in there, and he plays it maybe once a year.
So is this guy like extremely rich or something, or is this just something he did?
Oh, he's an enthusiast. I don't think he has a family. Like the only money he's spending on is on the cinema. He's got a 4K projector just for himself.
Wow.
Back in the days when 4K came out in cinemas,
Yeah, but that's pretty.
So maybe now he's got something even better. Yeah, obviously now you could buy a 4K projector, but 10 years ago it was really expensive.
Well, I guess you can choose to have a family and whatever, as you said, or spend your time doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, while we're talking about projects, I've got a question for you two, since you know a little bit about electronics and ESPs and all of these words that I don't even know by heart. Like 2 weeks ago, I made a little contraption that opens 2 ball valves, and it's 2 linear motors, and they draw like 1 amp at 24 volts, and I wanted to switch them with an Arduino. And at first I bought some of these motor controllers. They were like maybe €2 each, and they got super hot. Even though they were made for about 1 amp, they couldn't really handle it, and they weren't very reliable. And then I noticed, if I want to buy a motor controller for 24 volts and 1 amp, so 25 watts, let's say, they get really expensive, like 30 euros for one controller. And I had 2 motors, so I would have needed 2. And I'm wondering, what is the proper way to drive these?
Most of these motor controllers come with 2 channels, correct?
Yeah.
So I wonder
if you could drive them in parallel.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if that's...
Yeah, no. Because if I use one, it's connected to the same heat shield. So it's the same heat and the same chip. It's not 2 chips.
Okay.
Maybe stack them.
So that probably wouldn't help too much.
Yeah, it's like having one combustion engine with 2 output shafts. It's the same engine. Is there like an industrial motor controller that I could buy?
Motor.
24 volts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there is, but I mean, if you think 30 euros is expensive,
that's a good point.
Well, yeah, it wasn't just the money. It was like if I buy this, DIY thing, like an Arduino motor controller for $30, it's likely to blow up. So if I could just buy one and press a button and it does the rest for me, that would be much nicer.
If you could find a Siemens rep, they could probably sell you one for 500 or so, I would think.
Yeah, and then pay licensing fee to access the software,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
pay a monthly maintenance fee.
Well, yeah. So I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
I
I'm
don't
a
don't
have a
bit
really
better
disappointed that
solution
you
for
guys
you.
don't
do
know.
big
Yeah,
projects or
I
big
don't know.
motors.
Maybe.
I always try to make projects smaller when I see something big.
because I've got a second project, and that is actually it's like a drawer slide, but for a
A
whole
car?
car.
Car?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a normal car, like a 1.5 ton car, which is
Hmm.
normal size in Germany, which is tiny sized in Jeremy's
Hmm.
point of view.
Well,
But
that's
it's a
that's
drawer
cool.
slide for that, and I'm not
Ooh.
sure yet how I'm going to drive the motor.
I saw on a related note, I saw something. It was like houses of the whatever crazy houses or something, and this guy had a it was like a turntable. You pulled your car in and then turned it all the way around, so you wouldn't ever have to
I've
back out
seen
of your
that,
driveway.
and there was a fortune.
Yeah, maybe you saw the same show. There was another one. This guy had it
Yeah,
was
it
like a
was in his basement.
yeah. Well, there was other guy. Maybe it was the same guy. He had like a aircraft carrier type lift for his cars that would you pull up and it stacks them all or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I remember he had like a man cave and a round turntable, and everything was so complicated in there.
Yeah. Well, so
It's
so
not
you
just the money; it's also finding even people that can build that. Dave, you built this thing which is called the Skeleton
Hmm.
80 Tiny 85 handheld. And I'm wondering how do you it's like a circuit without the PCB underneath. It's all floating in free air, the resistors and the buttons, they're just soldered together and that makes up the whole structure. How do
With
you actually build something
patience,
like that?
soldering iron, and lots of LED legs that were snapped off once. I just collect them.
So have you got a template for this before you start?
Eagle, like I was moving the wires so that I don't have many jumpers. It's like just trying to make every line blue and then print it out and solder after it. That's how I started.
What do you mean by jumpers?
Well, on the PCB, it would be like top layer and bottom layer. And I just tried, when designing it, I tried not to put any wires, as in wires. I just tried not to put them on the top layer and just put them on the bottom layer, because every wire on the top layer would mean that I have to physically go over another wire. So I didn't want to
Okay.
cross them, basically. That would mean I would make to have a jumper.
Ah, that's what you mean with a jumper. One cable jumps over the other.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So normally when you have like a single-sided PCB design, there would be like little wire jumpers, and it's still a jumper. It's not like two pins pointing out, but it's like jumping from one point to another because you have
So you use Eagle
yeah
you use Eagle on your PCB
something in the way.
designs? Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah. Well, I started with KiCad now because there was another change with Autodesk now and their subscription model and the stuff you get with it. And
So they lost you.
it's tough. Yeah, I mean they never really got me in the first place because I'm still using a cloud-free version of
Okay.
Eagle, so that's like version 7 point something.
I actually designed my first PCB and got it back from Osh Park a week or two ago, and I started out with KiCad. I don't even know how you pronounce that exactly, but it's
Yeah, I did the mistake and asked that on Twitter the other day. But people responded me how it should be the right
what
way.
is the right way then?
And
Yeah. But yeah, I
what's the
saw your
PCB for?
Oh, I have no idea. I
Oh,
forgot.
my PCB was pretty much practice. It just
Yeah.
makes a row of LEDs and lights them up and unlights them. I don't know. It's pretty satisfying actually. It's got a reset button that when you hit it, it just goes on and then goes off. So it's a bit pointless, but I just figured I needed, you know, my reasoning here was it's like, I've done this. I need to actually do it, go through the process, get it back, and say that I can do this, and now I can do whatever else I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I feel like just needed that
Mhm.
initial thing. And
Yeah. I mean, you also want to make sure that your circuit that you're actually using there for the PCB makes sense, is easy to check, so you can make sure that your PCB itself works, especially if
well,
it's the first
what do
one.
you mean by that exactly?
How can you actually check it?
Well, if you have a blinking LED on your breadboard and you then go and make a PCB out of that, it's like very
Oh,
simple to check
right.
in a way that the thing itself works before you then check the PCB. It's like if you have too many things on there where you're not certain if it actually works, then it could be the PCB or the circuit. And if it's the first PCB, you want to make sure
Oh,
that
yeah,
it's an
that's
easy
a good
circuit.
point. I mean, obviously,
That
if
makes sense.
if you
Yeah,
had a
like Hello World.
yeah,
Yeah,
so if you had
right.
like three
Exactly.
protocols going on, and like, well, this isn't working, but it could be my SPI connection or whatever else, then you
Yeah,
really maybe a
right.
little screwed.
Or you use the new chip where you don't know
Yeah.
how to program it, or if it
Now,
really
Dave,
works
when you
that
design a
way.
PCB, do you always
No.
lay down on a perf board first, or sorry, breadboard first, or do you just design it and go?
uh, I wish I would. Sometimes it's just designing, and because some things are very complex, and when you breadboard them, you can't be sure that you actually did everything the right way with the wires. Like, is this ball of wires still making sense, and can you retrace every step you did to make a PCB out of it? So there's always like this point where I say, okay, I'm gonna make a PCB now, and then see how I can um, go from the PCB and not
Right,
the
that
breadboard
makes
anymore.
sense. When did you make your first PCB? How long ago was that?
I think that was
Okay.
6 years ago,
Just thinking about, my
so
experience and yours, what
feels
would
not
you
that long.
recommend if somebody's like really curious about it, but they haven't got into it yet? What would you recommend they do to get to that, I guess, hello world point?
It always helps if you have an idea on what to make. It's always like you need the motivation to
Yeah,
continue, and
it's like with
so
woodworking.
that's more important than yeah.
That's a good point.
So of course you have to find your small project first, like that helps you um make the bigger one maybe. Like if you want to make a whole console with all the bells and whistles, you should start with the bell and then with the whistle. Make sure that they work and add them later.
That's great. That sounds like a really
Yeah,
good quote, Dave. That's
yeah. I don't know where that came from. That was,
Yeah, Jerry, you
yeah.
can start by building a PCB for this car drawer that I'm building.
okay. Well,
It just needs to
when
be a remote switch that turns the motor on and off,
that
and
doesn't
two end stops.
that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, if it catches on fire, it'll be in a garage, right? So if it
What's the
catches
size
on
of the
fire,
motor?
we're good, right?
Oh, the motor is.
What's the
I
amp?
don't know the amps yet. I don't know the motor yet, but it's
Yeah.
about the size of an electric winch, like what you have on
Hmm.
4x4s. And I don't actually know how much amps they draw. Maybe, I don't know,
So what are you doing with this? I'm really
50.
curious now.
Well, it's for caravans. I build drawers for caravans, and at the back of the big caravans, you've got little garages for cars. And the thing is, normally there's like a slide. You put your car in front of
Oh.
the slide, and then you winch it up with a little winch, and then you have to climb inside to pull your key out to turn the ignition off, because the modern cars you cannot tow them with a winch unless the ignition is on, because the gearbox locks up. And you also need to steer the car while it's going up the ramp. So you need to leave the door somehow open, but there's very little access. So it's much more convenient to have a ramp outside of the car where you drive onto. You've got all the access, and then you pull the whole ramp inside with the car. And
Oh, well,
that's what I'm
very cool. So that could
building.
be that's going to actually go with your I guess quote unquote normal business then.
Exactly. Yeah,
That'll be
but
cool.
I can't discuss details yet, but
Yeah, no, I
well,
understand.
Hmm.
maybe I can in the future. Well, not Well, I signed an NDA to not discuss any of their stuff, but this is my design, so I guess I can talk about it.
Well, whatever you feel,
But
whatever
when
you
you,
feel comfortable with, and you're,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
what I've told you is where I'm at. But this remote control needs to be safe, of course. Like if I let go of the button, it needs to stop. Can't keep going. So I'm not even sure if that's physically possible to build something like that. Like a dead man's switch that's remote.
hmm.
a remote deadman switch, that sounds like it's conflicting in
Yeah.
itself. It's
So,
like you don't want to have something that's remote, but
sounds like a
also
good
deadman.
second
Yeah.
PCB design for me. Something safety critical and with a lot of current going
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. But they have remote controls that are safety relevant. Like on cranes, you can remote control cranes and stuff like that.
But they probably also stop when they don't have a connection to the remote. So
Yeah, but then the Arduino could still somehow lock up, couldn't it? If there's some bug or something like that. That's what I don't get about Tesla has this feature where if you're on a parking lot, you can summon your car, which doesn't really work that well. But you need to keep a button pressed, I think, for it to run, and you need to remain eyesight. But something tells me that there could be a situation where you don't press the button anymore, but the car doesn't know yet.
I'm pretty sure it's like have a connection and the button is seen, then the car runs, and if it doesn't see the remote, then it won't drive as well as it won't drive when it has a connection and the button is not pressed. That's how I would do
Yeah,
it.
but yeah, sometimes the iPhone, when I try to unlock it, I unlock the slider all the time and it would not unlock. Things like this, like it's just bugs. You do.
Yeah, and if it's safety critical, you just can't do that. Otherwise, you're,
Yeah,
you're really irresponsible.
Right, but
maybe I just have a
but your
button.
phone never unlocks when you slide and you stop sliding and it then won't unlock. So it's the same but different, like the other way around. It's a safety feature that it doesn't just unlock your phone when you do something wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's a funny thing. Like I'm thinking about these safety features, but at the moment, all you do is you winch up a car on a cable. If the cable snaps, the car rolls back down and causes an accident because the car's in neutral.
Well, sure, but hopefully that cable wouldn't snap. I mean, same thing with rock climbing. If your rope snaps, you're pretty screwed.
Yeah, rock climbing just has one rope. That's true. There are no two safeties, but every elevator needs at least two safety devices.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, you know more about that than I do, certainly. But
Because I ripped two out this year.
yeah, that's what I hear. So, well, Max, do you want to talk about what we've been working on these days?
Yeah, sure.
So,
How about you start?
okay, so me, I guess.
I saw you started working on construction as well.
Construction. I'm trying to think what
Construction.
you mean by that.
It's working with concrete, Jeremy.
Oh, that's right, working with concrete. Yeah, so I guess my two videos that I put out recently, I made a pot, like a concrete pot with a 3D printed mold. And that was a really cool project. I mean, I wouldn't say, if I valued my time at more than say 25 cents an hour, it just wasn't economically feasible. But I mean, the pots turned out great. You put it in this mold, vibrate it with a orbital sander, and then let it cure for a couple days. And after that, you can put a plant in it, and you can actually finish it with concrete sealer. And then from there, I made a concrete solder squid, which is pretty much just a block of concrete with some coolant hoses that come off.
You made a brick.
Yeah, I created a brick with
You made a brick and it wasn't even pretty.
Oh, now Max, that wasn't very nice.
It's the truth.
Well,
The surface wasn't flat.
All right. Well, you're right. Anyway, I made a brick with some coolant hoses poking out, and I did finish it with sealer, and I thought it looked not too bad. But
I was wondering, did you buy that giant can of sealer just for that brick?
oh no, actually, I bought it. I've got a fountain outside of my house which sounds pretty ridiculous. But
Well, yeah.
anyway,
You've got your own roundabout in
yeah.
front of your
So it
house.
seems to be I had to have the butler put some more sealer in there for no, not it just sounds. I just
to make
make
him
him work.
work.
No, so anyway, it seemed to be leaking, so I put the sealer on the inside. I don't know if that really worked or not. It looked like there was like an oil spill in there for the next couple weeks, because I think I put the water in too fast. But
Oh no.
Unfortunately, they don't seem to sell it in a larger can or smaller can, as far as I could tell, because for the most part that sealer is meant for like like a driveway or something, not for a little pot that you're gonna put a plant in.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Um,
don't really have concrete driveways here.
what do you guys
They're
use?
all bricks.
Oh, brick.
Yeah, pavers.
Oh, well,
what?
that's nice. That's probably prettier.
Well, I mean, in Berlin I have everything here, so it's like concrete, little bricks, big bricks, nothing at all, sand,
Really?
puddle.
So in a fairly urban area, they would have like a sand driveway.
No, it's because you're
Sure.
poor.
Oh, well, I guess that's true.
Well, yeah, or the city is poor, or everyone.
Really?
No.
I guess I would have thought people in Berlin were fairly well off, but is that not?
The rich
Yeah,
people
I
are,
mean,
yeah.
Rich
it's just
people.
Berlin is that big, so you have like everything and everywhere. So there's probably sand
Right.
somewhere on the street.
But yeah, I guess.
Some people have these
Yeah.
houses and they have just given up on making the house look like a pretty house. They all spend all the time inside and they don't care how the garden looks like.
Yeah, I
I
suppose
think those are those
I
that
suppose that's everywhere.
have sand as a driveway.
Well, how
hate
how do
sand.
they get their pickup trucks out of it? They have their 4-wheel drives that get out of it, or
Oh no. We have bicycle people here.
oh,
Yeah.
bicycle people.
I don't really own a car. I'm driving around with my pedelec,
And
my
water skiing.
electric bike. Yeah, I never really did that. Just once.
Did you hack your you only went once?
Yeah.
Don't you
I'm
spend
not
some
a
of your days
wakeboarder or-
at the site, like at the cable park?
Well, we did in the first years, and now it's just basically my boss, traveling around the world and doing all the installations. Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
you just sit there and laugh at them. They say, how dare you get all wet? I'm just here dry and warm."
No, I'm actually, I was working from home most of the days, but now I'm working from a co-working space in my hack space, so that's kind of good enough for me. I don't have to
Oh,
travel.
nice.
I have everything I need.
Nice.
So do you do that for company or because you can't concentrate at home?
Well, it's also quite isolating when you sit the whole day at home and work on something, and then you continue sitting and working on something, completely different, but it's still just sitting alone
Oh,
at home. Yeah.
well, that
So
sounds.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
does
like the
sound a
company.
little sad. I guess you could get
Well, that's
Yeah.
my life.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean I do the same thing mostly, except I've got wife and kids keep me
No.
busy, I guess. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, what about you? What about you, Max? What have you been working on?
Oh, I started. Well, I did some woodworking over Christmas. I made 2 nightstands. They came out really, really beautiful. Like it's almost fine woodworking. It's not fine woodworking. They just look stylish. And some cabinets for the bathroom and some home improvement. And now that is done. I just did it basically to calm things down in the household. So it's not as barren. And now I'm working on the hydrofoil again.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's such a big task still left to do. Yesterday I installed a new motor, and that alone was like a day's full of work just to put a prop on the motor. And then I installed 2 valves so I can pump up the electronics compartments to see if they leak, and they leak everywhere. Every single waterproof button leaks. I had tiny holes that are plugged up again. They leak. The display leaks.
Oh,
I don't
man.
think there's anything there that doesn't leak.
Well, that's a little disappointing. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of work then.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, on a similar note, my wife and I hung up some paintings and pictures in our house. We've lived here for 2.5 years and finally got around to it. So that's pretty pitiful.
I still don't have dining room chairs. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, you need to buy some dining room chairs. Go this place, go that place. They've got chairs there." And it's like I know how to buy chairs. I just want to find the right ones.
Well, do you have a table, or just no chairs?
I've got a table. Yeah. Oh, the table is really great. It's marble. It really is.
So is it? What
and
is
a welded
it?
steel
Do you
frame.
have, is it like a standing table, like you eat standing up? Is that kind of, or do you?
No. I've got one chair here, and it's really wobbly, and it's even pink. Doesn't fit at all. And then I've got a second chair for my girlfriend. We've got like partner desks at the moment, and that one is from the garden. At the marble chair, the marble table.
Huh. Yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't bugged you to get a chair or two, but.
Well, yeah, she's very convenient in that way. The rest of the family bugs me a lot. But I found chairs finally that I like. And the thing is, the price of these chairs. These are like designer chairs, and they're really expensive. But then I want designer chairs, something that will last for probably, maybe if I still like them for the rest of my life, or if I don't like them anymore, I can sell them for the close enough price that I bought them for, because it's designer stuff, They
Right.
don't
No,
go out of season. They always be design classics. And these chairs, they're molded plastic, and inside they have a leather cover. And if you buy just the chairs, it's like, let's say, $100. If you buy the leather covers only on the inside, it's $250.
for each.
So I
each chair.
decided
Is each chair.
for each chair, yeah, times 5 chairs.
Wow.
So I decided to buy just the bare chairs and make the leather padding myself. So that's an upcoming project after the hydrofoil is
That'd
done.
be fun. Are you planning to do a video on that? Do
Yeah.
you think, or is that going to be?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
A sewing video, and everybody keeps telling me I can't do it.
Believe it or not, my wife will like if a button comes off a shirt or something, she'll ask me to sew it because I actually know how to do it pretty well.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean,
it's easier for you because you have tiny hands.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm 6'4", but my hands are just, like a little child's.
It wasn't that noticeable.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you for not pointing that out when we met this last year. Dave.
Yeah. So Dave, have you got all your furniture together?
Oh, no, not really. I don't even have a sofa right now where I can have people here in my flat. So I'm in this 3-room. No, it's 2.5 rooms, and the half room is basically just a tiny little thing where you can put the vacuum in. But yeah, I had a flatmate, and
You took the couch.
it's been a while. Well, actually, I've put the couch in at my hackerspace. I was like, I'm gonna get a new one, and I gotta get a new bed because the bed was like it was just put together DIY style with wood from the home improvement store.
Yeah, hardware store.
Hardware store, whatever. Yeah. So I was just taking all this, and I just brought it to the hackerspace, and now I'm thinking about how I can, make the room my room.
I always have on Instagram this pop-up of this company. They make cardboard furniture. And say like, oh, this is great. You can just throw it away if you don't like it anymore, and it's sustainable, and it's cool, and functional, and you can flat pack it again if you want to move somewhere. It's really lightweight. And the bed, which is really only a platform. There's nothing else to this bed but the bare platform. You're just raising up your mattress from the floor by like 30 centimeters. and that alone costs 300 euros. At IKEA, you can get a proper bed for that, made out of wood.
Huh.
Right.
Or you could just buy plastic boxes for half the price. That also raise up your mattress from the floor, and they're made from plastic.
Huh. Or you could get milk crates or whatever. I guess that's
milk crates. Yeah, that's what I meant with the boxes.
Which I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what. I feel like milk crates are a thing, but it's not like anybody gets milk from the milkman anymore.
No, but we still have crates.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and in Germany we have actually reusable bottles.
Oh,
most of the bottles are
nice.
reusable.
Right.
So you have crates for that.
Okay. Well,
yeah, and
like
some
you've got
people
6 packs and we've got 20 packs.
Yeah, some people even put LEDs into the bottles and then make a whole display out of it. Called the Mate light. Yeah.
Sounds like.
Especially with the Club Mate.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, it's a drink they don't have in the US.
Wait, you say Clamato? Clamato?
They do.
I think they do, yeah.
Club Mate. It's Mate tea, and then it's just the brand is Club Mate.
Yeah, I've never had it, but I've heard of it, so I'm sure.
Yeah, you don't have it. It's not enough sugar.
No. Some hackerspaces in America have imported them, and I think the New York hackspace, forgot the name, and the one in, or also forgot the name of the city. So the city where Drew is coming from.
Oh, Chicago.
The Osh Park man.
Is it Chicago?
Like, yeah.
Was it like
they have a
pumping
huge
station?
Hackerspace, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Pumping station.
I think right. And they should have Mate as well.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I'll probably stick to Dr. Pepper myself, but that's.
Nah, not my thing.
Not your drink. Oh, that's okay.
Not really.
So what have you been working on, Dave? I'm sure you've got some crazy projects going on at this time.
I mean, you started at Christmas. No, well, so I made a tiny version of the Mate light, and the Mate light is like I said, the LEDs in the bottles and the bottles in a crate, and there's like this huge installation at the most famous hackerspace, the C-Base from Berlin. And they have 4x8 crates and 16x40 bottles with LEDs. Ooh. And a friend of mine was like,
"Watch a movie on that."
Well, yeah, it's not the best quality, but you can actually, there are scripts that you can play videos on it. And a friend of mine was talking to me about making a smaller portable version, and. So he was telling me about his idea, and then my head went like, I could use this and that. So I came up with this. There are you can buy very cheap 8x8 LED mattresses with the NeoPixels on them. And when you buy a 10-pack, you pay around 35 euros. So 8x8 LEDs times 10 makes 640 LEDs, just like the big installation is. So, and
that's
then I made
soldering.
No, it's really not, because you just get 8 LED mattress. No, you get 10 mattresses that are already pre-soldered for you, and you just have to connect the panels, like the data in to data out, and then also add power. So that was kind of the easy part. The rest was like putting it all together inside a laser cut box and spray painting everything just before I went to SuperCon. Oh, so it was, that was November then. Okay.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was working with someone from my hackerspace on it to send another video. We have a little thing coming up on Friday where we want to have someone give a speech or just a talk about projects, and we want to show a timer on the Mattress, and the only thing the Mattress can do right now is play videos. So At first, I was downloading. I was going to YouTube. That's wonderful about YouTube. You can just enter 15 minutes countdown, and then you get a video with a 15 minutes countdown.
Nice.
And yeah, I downloaded that and then just played it on it. But we also tried to generate with FFmpeg filters a countdown that's the original resolution of the Mattress. So it kind of was better.
It sounds a little bit like the Game Boy Mega Machine that Look Mom No Computer is building.
Oh,
He's got like, I think, 6x6 Game Boys, something like that.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of Game Boys, and he can barely display some letters with it.
Do you
yeah,
know
I
this
think
guy?
it's now 6x8. We've never met or
yeah, 6x8
exchanged
maybe.
data, but yeah, I think his name is Sam, and I was watching a lot
Yeah,
of
Sam
videos like
Battle.
the last, or I don't know, 3 or 4 days. I was constantly watching his videos because I'm in the mood for synthesizers right now, and yeah, I bought this huge thing on eBay. It's a gas station controller, and it has 24 buttons and LEDs above them. So I want to make a drum sequence out of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do you know about this stuff? Because I'd never get anything he's talking about in his videos. I watch his videos, but I don't understand them.
I've built a little synthesizer sequencer thing with 4 chips, so I kind of know my way around this because I always get back to this project and try to improve on it or expand it. So I kind of know what he's talking about.
Nice.
But he's
That's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, have you heard his song about, what is it? Money, Money, Grandma's Money. Have you heard that? Have you heard any of his songs on Spotify or anything?
Oh no, haven't heard that.
I heard it, of course, because I bought the album. It's on iTunes.
Nice.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was telling my wife about this song. It's something about money, 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 grandma's money. And my kids are here. They hear me say this, and they've been just repeating this. And they actually said it in some sort of family dinner the other day. It was quite embarrassing. When grandma was there. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So that's lyrics of one of his songs, or
yeah, lyrics of one of his
Yeah.
songs. He's just talking about how his grandma's got all kinds of money or something.
that's
I don't know.
Next time, just don't bring your kids.
Modern Gas or something? Is it that song?
That's a different song.
Sure. Okay.
Or is it the same song?
It's a different song.
I thought it was.
Anyway, let's.
It's a good album, though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
worth listening to.
Yeah.
We're big fans. Yeah. Guess it's a good point to end the show.
Yeah. So
Unless you got any other topics.
yeah, anything you
Too
want
many.
to add, Dave? Too many.
No, I can always talk about projects. I have so many projects, but yeah, you always have to find a point where you stop.
Yeah,
It's
Well,
for projects and podcasts. It's the same, I
that's
guess.
true. Well, tell you what, Dave. I mean, since you can't talk about all your projects, where can somebody find out? Where can somebody find you and more info on your
Yeah.
stuff?
Well, I'm very active on Twitter. My handle is Dave Darko, and yeah, I sometimes post things on Instagram. And yeah, the last video I posted on YouTube is 8 months now, I think ago. So
Okay.
there should be
Yeah.
stuff coming.
I noticed it's a little bit barren.
Yeah, that's all the
channel.
element 14 power. So yeah,
Yeah.
I make
Yeah,
videos,
but
but
we'll see.
not for my
We'll
channel.
see another video from you from Element 14 soon as well, I suppose, or maybe not soon. I don't know.
Yeah, I
but-
think it's set to March,
Okay.
sometime there.
Very cool. Now, what about you, Max? Where can we find you?
Oh, you can watch my stuff on YouTube. It's Max Maker. And on Instagram, Max Maker YouTube with underscores underneath. Yeah, I'm posting every day now on Instagram.
Very cool.
I'm making that challenge.
Nice.
Yeah, it's mostly bikini shots of me.
Okay. Well, that's not what I'm not gonna
Me
sign
and my
up for
girlfriend, we
instant-
drive to the beach,
Yes.
and I've got a backpack full of different bikinis, and she takes like pictures for a whole month.
Okay.
Then people think I spend all my time at the beach.
I see. Well, that sounds. I guess I'm not going to sign up for Instagram for that, but others might.
That's the way to do
be
it.
interested.
How about you, Jeremy?
So yeah, you can find
Where
me
can we find you?
on Twitter at Jeremy S. Cook, or on YouTube at Jeremy S. Cook there as well. And jeremyscook.com. You can find some stuff there on these as well. So pretty much that's what it is. Okay, I guess. So, well, Dave, we really appreciate you coming on today. That was great learning about some stuff from you.
Sure. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. All right. Well,
See you next time.
see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.